ready for drinking? Drawing? What about laughing? Well, hold on to your donkeys. It's season 3 of the ComX Friday Night Drink and Draw. With your hosts Sizzle and Spetsy, plus Quick Nick, our esteemed regulars, and Australia's best looking creators. Many of whom have books for sale at comx.shop. Now, let's get stanky.
Welcome to the 89th episode of ComX's Friday Night Drink and Draw. Tonight's theme is Monsters, and the screen's gone all different. And our special guest is in not the spot I was expecting, Joshua.
There you go.
Santospirito.
Nailed it. Before we get cracking tonight, I just wanted to be a bit serious for a second. I just wanted to shout out Michelle of Dan and Michelle fame. Michelle is going through some stuff at the moment. I believe her mother might have passed away today. So I just wanted to send our love. She's a big contributor to the show, fan of the show. So if Michelle, if you are watching tonight, hopefully we can maybe distract you with our nonsense and whatnot. Know that we love you and we love your art, and wishing you and your family all the best. I also want to shout out Gary Della, who has been in and out of hospital for quite a while now, but was in this week getting a stent put in his heart. He's more machine than man now. But yeah, Gary, wishing you all the best. Please get better. We have so many comics we need to make. And in honor of Gary, who is sort of the guy who told me early on that we swear too much on this show, I believe we've not sworn since, not even once in 80-something shows. All right, we've tried. So in honor of Gary, I will say I have a cold tonight. I feel like the S word, but I will power through because I got my boys with me. I got Sizzle and the man who is Quick Nick. Welcome, sir.
F word, yeah.
Yeah. And back as her forced ghost self, Kelsey. Welcome back to the show.
Hey. PG.
And of course, Dave Dye. Welcome, sir.
G'day all.
And we're trying out a new little thing here so we can watch Tom as he draws. People at home, please feel free to yell at us in the comments that it looks dumb. Put it back to how it used to be. A man who does not look dumb. He looks just as he's supposed to be. It's Alex Major. Welcome back, man.
Hello, I gotta be quiet if I can't say any naughty words. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyways, that C word stuff. No, I'm not saying anything. There was no joke coming out. Sorry, I didn't think before.
The S word, just saying the S word, perfectly innocent. But you even managed to swear within the realm of censored swearing, I feel like. But
okay, fine. I'll say it. Cat.
Okay. And the man who we are zooming in on tonight, we've got Tom Tung back with us.
Howdy, howdy.
That's his hand. You can see mini felt Tom down the bottom there.
Yeah, nice.
Hey.
The man who's going to help me tonight with some good old-fashioned yes-anding, Brad Daniels, is back in the house.
Yes, and I won't fucking swear.
Gary, know that I respect you, at least.
So is Gary switching off now?
Yeah. And then, yes, our special guest tonight is Joshua Santospirito. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Absolute pleasure to have you. Now we're here to talk monsters. Now, Sizzle, when I say the term universal monsters, what does that mean to you?
Universal monsters?
Some would say the first monsters almost. What does that term mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't actually. When you say monsters, though, on the other hand,
yes,
the first thing that comes to my mind for some reason is always Frankenstein. I don't know why, but it's...
Well, Frankenstein is one of the universal monsters.
Oh,
Dave,
okay.
what are the universal monsters?
Universal Studios, as a guess.
Yep, correct.
So is
Nick?
that Dracula?
Yes, that's one.
And the Mummy.
Nick Cleary, you must know this back to front as a film geek.
The Mummy, the Invisible Man,
Yes.
the Wolfman,
Yes.
Frankenstein, Dracula. That's it, right? Maybe the
Uh,
lagoon monster.
Is there a werewolf and swamp monster?
Yeah, creature
what I
from the
meant.
Black Lagoon.
That's
Brad.
the one.
Come on, I said it. Get out of
You
here.
did. I heard you. Nick, I'll back you up. You did it.
Let's have a quick more man than machine.
Of course, we're missing Phantom of the Opera, Bride of Frankenstein.
That's
and then Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Quasimodo.
Yeah, that's an honourable mention because I don't think they count that as sort of like this the foundations of the Universal Monsters.
Did you say
there's the
Phantom of the
Mummy as
Opera?
well.
Did you?
What's that, Dave?
Did you say Phantom of the Opera?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Could we give it
surprised
RoboCop?
that one's not on the list for me.
Dave, can you give us the famous line? Can you sing it for us?
Famous line from what?
Phantom of the Opera?
No. I don't know what that is.
I can't do it because I got a cold, but you could. No. We need to. The Phantom of the Opera is here.
I thought you could do this.
Well, I only know the Phantom of the Opera from I think it was a silent movie I saw at school.
Oh, yeah? What were the songs like in that?
Of course, that had the famous line. Yeah, nailed it.
You got it right.
Wouldn't you like that, Dave, if when you walked into a room and they're like, the man who draws amazing tales is here. Every time you walk in.
I think I'd probably.
Have you ever done this, Rob? I got a question for you. Have you
hosted a show? Yeah, I've done it a few times.
No, but have a situation. Somebody comes in and then you just burst into a song and you start to make a musical out of the situation.
Oh yeah, I've seen that done on stage. Brad, have you ever done a improv where you burst into song?
Absolutely. I've done many musical shows. I did one years ago called Improck, which was a improvised rock musical.
Oh, cool.
It was a lot of fun. We had our own band and everything.
Right. Cool. So it wasn't a bunch of Peter Dinklages from Game of Thrones running around, Tyrion Lannisters rocking out.
No, it was not that sort of imp. But I get where you come from, Rob.
Hey! More jokes like that. Stick around. Yeah.
How many viewers did we just lose?
Yeah.
About 4. That's all good.
Gary just tuned in for like 15 seconds, said, well, this is the S word.
Yeah.
and these are a bunch of C words. F this.
No, that one's not appropriate. I don't know why that one's different, but that one's different.
Cactus?
All right.
Cactus is a C word.
Okay, moving on. Quick, who's your favorite monster?
Elmo.
Oh,
Elmo's a seal, isn't he? What is Elmo?
He's a monster, bro.
He's a little fairy monster.
Yeah.
Is he really a monster?
All the Sesame Street characters are monsters.
Even Big Bird?
We're going down that street.
Especially Big Bird.
Big Bird. Oh, no, Big Birds are scary.
If you were to see a bird that big, yeah, it would freak you out.
I've heard Elmo refer to himself as an Elmo as well. So,
so he's his own.
Yeah.
He's like Yoda, baby Yoda. He's like his own. So that's just like, hey, what's up? I'm human.
But didn't the puppeteer or the voice of Elmo get in trouble?
Phantom of the Opera.
Is that your favorite monster, Quick?
My favorite monster would have to be. I like the Bigfoot stuff myself. I think that's.
We're going real life.
Yeah, the real life crossover monsters. They're fun.
One of my favorite moments in video games, and this was kind of not so much pre-internet, but like social media, I guess, was the game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and there's a foresty patch in the game, and there was a rumor, and I didn't know how I found out about the rumor, but there was a rumor that there was a Bigfoot in those woods. Now there wasn't, but it led to some of the best gaming I've ever done because I went hunting for Bigfoot and it was so much fun. Only to find, like, when I couldn't find him after hours of looking, and then found out the rumor was debunked. But good times I had.
Good time.
Quick, have you ever been scared by a monster movie
A monster movie.
or a
Not
maybe
really.
a story someone
Like,
told you about?
monsters don't do it for me, and like ghosts will get me in a movie, but not so much monsters. Something about monsters that's usually they're more action driven. Maybe they're more like Jurassic Park. They're thrill movies.
Right.
But yeah, serial killers and ghosts will freak me out though.
Serial killers and goats. Fair enough.
And goats and ghosts.
Goats.
Goats
Not
are pretty
goats.
scary.
So are we talking like, so in real life, serial killers scare you? Like,
No, like in a movie, like I'll be scared of a psychopath because I can relate that to
Wait, a
the
psychopath?
real world.
Don't
Yeah.
walk
That
Don't
got
do
me.
down the
Can you believe it?
psychopath. It's the
Don't-
worst path to take. Take the hiking path. It's so much
Yeah.
nicer.
Oh, I want to find Bigfoot though, so Rob tells me they're on psychopaths.
psychogenitor.com for all your comical needs. Kelsey, when you're not teaching Luke Skywalker how to fly his X-Wing, what's your favorite or scariest monster?
Oh god, I actually really am into like monster lore and stuff, so this is a hard decision. I think I'm gonna have to go really boring though and pick either Dracula or the werewolf, but just because there's so many different interpretations of it, like I get really into Castlevania, for example. Like that's like one of my all-time favorite games and franchises and stuff like that, and Dracula is just fucking freaking cool.
Saved it.
But yeah, I love all of that. I love Frankenstein's Monster is a great book in and of itself without the monster genre, but I love that Mary Shelley like pioneered the monster genre that we know today through Frankenstein's monster book. I'm gonna get all nerdy about it now.
No, please.
And I just love that like her book is still relevant today in many ways in the terms of not just like in our culture but in our media. I love that she wrote Frankenstein's Monster like before Bram Stoker was even in his diapers, but everyone talks about Dracula, but really she's the one who kind of helped pave the way. Yeah, exactly. Isn't it? Yeah, his nephews. So yeah, I'm probably going to either go with Dracula or Frankenstein or maybe the werewolf. I like all of them. I can't pick actually. I'm sorry. Just ignore me.
No, that was somehow that was still the correct answer. So you nailed it.
I'm doing a series actually that I've like come back to like 4 different times and then abandoned because I'm not happy with it. But I'm doing like a pin-up roller derby, piece of the monsters as like pin-up chicks, but roller derby pin-ups.
Cool.
I have to find it because like when you have an idea and you kind of start it and then you're like, nah, this looks like crap, and then you leave it because you're not good enough to do it, and then you come back 6 months later and you try again, and it's just like a never-ending cycle. That's this piece for me because I really want to get it right, but yeah, it should be fun. I'll send it to you so you can see what it looks like so far.
Yeah, awesome. That'd be good. Alex, what's the scariest? Not like real things like existential stuff, but what's the scariest thing to you in life?
I happened to me today at work, and it wasn't about anything to do with my salary or employment status. It was, but it was still very scary. Somebody pointed out that there was like a spider on the wall, and it was like a big huntsman. And I know they're not poisonous, but they still scared the living s out of me. Is crap? Is crap or turd a swear word? Because that got scared out of me.
Okay.
Anyways, so yeah, I can't do spiders. They just like I literally just get shivers and stuff, and like there's like that film as well, the 8-Legged Freaks. I can't get myself to watch that film. It's got David Arquette in it.
Yeah, Ari Wara.
And spiders as well. So
yeah. Have you seen Arachnophobia?
No, I saw the ad for it on Channel 7 when I was a kid, and I'm like, I don't need to watch this. I already have it. So, yeah. It was like one of the things I didn't like about coming back to Australia was spiders. And then, like, I didn't know, like, how legit it was until just see me react to just a spider 10 meters away from me. She's like, disappointed.
The scariest thing about the huntsman, you know why they called it, where it gets its name from? Because it hunts man.
Yeah, not helping, Rob. Not helping. I am still like, look at this, like totally embarrassing myself in front of Travis there.
It's like, why is a red?
He's just looking at the computer, going like, look at that dog. He's
Hey, I heard that Japan has been infested by Australian redbacks.
No, really?
Well,
Yeah,
don't need to go there anymore.
Yeah, they've
already been there, survived it.
They reckon they've come across on the container ships or something or other, and that's what I saw on, I don't know, one of those shows that you watch. Yeah.
Oh,
so I go
exporting. Nice.
Like in the US, there's like a freaky spider as well that like bites you, and then it kind of your skin gets all wooden and dries up.
Brown recluse. That's what it's called.
What it's called? Yeah.
Yeah. And you know why they call it that?
Because
it's reclusive and it's brown. These spiders, I swear they just name them like what they are.
So anyway, so that story didn't help me going like, oh yeah, spiders aren't scary. No, they're scary.
Yeah.
And I saw like, I've seen a funnel web once, and I was like, just almost passed out. They've got like teeth the size of their legs at the front.
Funnel web.
Yeah, there you go. See.
They also cause like necropolis, the funnel webs. Yeah. They cause your body to literally like start to decay, like when they bite you. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. So again, I don't like spiders, and they're more scarier than any of these Universal Pictures. If I see Frankenstein, I'm like, okay, dude has a big forehead and has some plastic coming out of his neck. That's cool. It's not a spider. See a mummy, I'm like, okay, look, I'm not racist. Egyptian people are cool. I have an Egyptian friend. He just likes to wrap himself up. So, you know,
just mummy wrap himself up. Well, that's good.
Yeah, so mummy's cool. Spiders, no. Yeah. Dracula, well, look, they come from Transylvania. It used to be Hungary back in the day. We bros, we cool. Spiders, no.
Yeah. All your spider people friends are going to be really like offended at how racist you are, Alex.
Oh, your spider people friends?
Yeah, they were like,
yeah, you know what? I don't like Peter Parker. He's a D word. Did you see that one, Rob? Did you see how
Trav, can you save us and put this show back on the rails or whatever, the proverbial tracks or something? Trav, we missed you in the intro. So, Trav, welcome. For those who don't know Trav, he's often referred to as Trav Dog, and he does those awesome artwork that often have lots of us cameoing in them.
Yeah, it'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Trav, first time on the show, right? It's good to have you.
Yeah. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, thank God. I was having problems with this before, but it works perfectly on my mum's iPad, so that's good. Yeah. Sweet. Thank you for letting me come on the show tonight.
Pleasure.
No, thank you. I love the artwork.
Now, when you say mum, you mean your mother and not an actual mummy, right? You haven't got a mummy's iPad?
Oh, no. No, not at all. If I did, I'd be cool.
Lag as well, Rob.
Yeah. I heard it's a real
and
pain.
Believe me, she cursed me when I got her out of bed.
Curse of the mum's iPad.
I got her out of bed to take the iPad.
This movie's writing itself. Trav, what's your favorite monster?
Oh, good question. I like the Gremlins. They're pretty cool.
Oh,
Gremlin, cool.
Yeah. I like the mischievous monsters. They're pretty cool.
Yes.
Now, Trav, if you had yourself a little gizmo begging for food after 12 o'clock, you know, what do you think you could power through till? When does that run out? When are you allowed to start feeding them? And at like 6 a.m.? When does that?
Can you just throw them on a plane so they go to a different time zone?
Hey, that's like when people say it's beer o'clock. Oh, it's 4 o'clock somewhere. You feed Gizmo at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, just basically switch your iPhone to New York time, and then you're like, hey, look at this while eating. And then the Gizmo is like, well, it's 3 a.m. I can't turn into a monster.
This is a monstrous plot hole we've just uncovered.
That monstrous plot hole.
And just because it popped in my head, just so I can destroy Star Wars for people, you know when they fight with lightsabers and the two lightsabers.
Don't spoil it. Spoiler alert.
The two lightsabers bang against each other and they're trying to hold each other back. Why wouldn't you just turn your lightsaber off and then turn it on again on the other? So you're both clashing and you're coming down on the guy. Then you just turn yours off, slip past it, turn it back on.
Because the other one couldn't the other one slip onto you?
Hang on, Alex.
That's right.
Josh is about to.
Alex.
What Alex said.
Just got it.
The lightsaber would come and hit you. Your defense is.
But if you're the guy coming down and they're trying to hold you off. Okay. All right.
Rob, I think you're abusing this platform, mate. Those are the world to really.
I got to see if I can unsend my email to George Lucas. I'm going to be embarrassed.
Isn't it J.J. Abrams now who supervises?
George.
John Favreau is probably a.
John Favreau does. He does Mando, which, like, no offense, but the new season has not been awesome. So.
We only do positive on this show, despite.
I mean, sorry. I
feels like Favreau switching off our show now stream.
Yeah, he is.
I'm out of this.
Yeah. Our best supporter.
Our clickbaity headlines of "We love everything" is not doing us wonders. So maybe we need to go down the hate.
We should embrace
Kelsey
it.
said Mando, not that great.
No. The new season is average, is what I said.
Oh, Nick. That's so good.
You've been quick, mate.
All right, Brad.
Yo.
What's the scariest monster? What's a movie or pop culture monster that has scared you?
Very few things are scary, but I suppose aliens are pretty scary, aren't they? Those xenomorphs.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty.
Is that a monster though, or is it just like a monster?
That's old school.
Thank you. Thanks.
I mean, we did aliens. We did do an alien show last week, so we're kind of retreading ground here, Brad. But you weren't on the show last week, so.
Yeah, well, but I would like to talk about Frankenstein for a bit, though.
Please, I wanted to know if is it the second mouth with the xenomorphs that freak you out? Is
it the fact that they're giant penis monsters? Yes, it is.
Okay.
I just don't like the face huggers look like spiders with tails.
Tom, did you see that comment?
You know why they're called face huggers, Alex?
No.
Because they like faces?
Well, they have faces. These things just... And then you got the funnel web. They make their webs in a funnel shape. And then you got tarantulas.
They of course, if they've got like a boring name describing what they do, you know it's a spider and you know it's scary. Stay away from it.
It's because the people who name them have to warn us what's coming, so they can't be creative. They call it something whimsical. We'll be like, oh, that's cool. Blue natted elefly. We'll be like, that sounds cool. But if it's a spider, we need to know what it is. We need to be like, it's a fucking spider and it eats birds. Get out.
That's why moths should be called dusty butterflies.
It's true.
Which would be a great name for a country and western artist as well. Dusty Butterflies.
That's actually pretty good.
These songs like a 90s punk band to me.
All right, Brad, give us your Frankenstein rant.
Well, Frankenstein's cool. Here's the thing about Frankenstein on film. Frankenstein was the first appearance of Boris Karloff, one of the greatest horror actors of all time, as Frankenstein. And then 50 years later, along comes another guy who plays Frankenstein. That's Christopher Lee.
Oh, really?
Another one of the greatest horror actors of all time, and also was in Star Wars.
See, bringing it all back.
Brad, I'll quiz you on Frankenstein. Who played Frankenstein on the Monsters?
Herman Monster was played by Ed Gwynn.
Monster.
Oh, he wasn't. Okay, so he wasn't Frankenstein because of copyright issues.
I think Frankenstein was out of copyright at that time, but the joke was they were a family, even though that one was a vampire and one was a werewolf and one was a Frankenstein. So yeah.
Go. So you can't stump Brad. Brad has got a lot of knowledge.
Dancing.
Has anyone read the Frankenstein Agent of Shade comic?
No, I know of it, but I've not read it.
Okay, so Frankenstein is a character in the DC universe, and Grant Morrison set up this dynamic where Frankenstein was a secret agent and had trouble with his ex-wife, the Bride of Frankenstein, who he worked at cross purposes with. And Jeff Lemire wrote I think a 20-issue series called Frankenstein Agent of Shade, which was just the maddest thing you could ever hope to see. It was Frankenstein being a secret agent with his four-armed wife, and the creature commandos were his backup. And it was a fantastic read. Some great art, some great stories. Check it out if you get a chance. Frankenstein Agent of Shade.
Yeah.
All right.
Good title.
Okay.
Brad, what would you be the agent of if it was Brad Daniels, agent of?
Agent of Pork.
Okay.
Oh.
Sweet.
And that would stand for people organizing real.
Cool, mate. You're doing well.
Kickstarters.
Oh, gee.
Nice.
Wow. So you tell me I have to back this book to read about you running around with people organizing real Kickstarters.
Yes, not fake ones, real ones.
Right.
Real ones.
Awesome. That's like meta or something. I don't know what it's something.
Well,
thank you, Brad.
Nice.
Have some perk on your thirk.
Perk on your thirk.
Hey,
let's
saying
check
Ferg,
in.
Gary's listening.
Half duck, half pork.
We get to watch Tom draw while we speak to Tom.
Show Tom some of his comments.
Oh,
He's
wow.
had some comments come up. Show them.
I don't know if you can see them, Dave.
Oh, can you see your screen, Tom?
I can just see it, yeah.
Okay, well, there's some
I'll
nice
see if I can
comments
find them
coming on
again.
your work.
I found one.
Oh, there they are.
There you go.
Cheers, Peter.
I do think the drawing's very clever. It's one of those things where I'm like looking at, why didn't I think of that?
There's another one, Tom.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Ian.
Ian is a big collector of original art too.
Yeah.
Just saying, Ian, you're seeing a piece being put together right here in front of your face.
Is it bad that I'm regretting that I forgot about the Sesame Street Monsters? Because I could have been drawing Elmo right now.
Yeah. Well, based on your previous times on the show, you seem to knock out like 3 or 4, so I wouldn't be surprised if you do a quick Elmo run before we're done.
No, that I'll see how I go on time.
Tom, who is your favorite monster?
Not Elmo. I reckon I'd be drawing Grover right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is a revelation to me that these guys are all monsters.
I think some of them actually their last name is Monster. I think.
Yeah, they're not
Cookie, isn't it?
Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster, where do you come from?
Oh, Cookie Monster. He live on Sesame Street, you see, and he eat lots of cookies. Cookie Monster.
Were you born on Sesame Street, or is that just where you reside?
Cookie Monster think Cookie Monster origin unimportant.
Oh, okay. Now, Cookie Monster, did the cookies give you, like Popeye would eat spinach and sort of get stronger? Do they give you anything, sort of like gifts, powers, anything, or do you just enjoy them?
Yes, spinach give Popeye strength, and Cookie give Cookie Monster satisfaction.
There you go. That's a good one.
Well, thank you, Cookie Monster. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show tonight.
You're most welcome.
Cut to my new favorite segment. Tom, I don't know how busy you are every Friday, but Spedley Talks to Cookie Monster is...
Rob, do you have any voices for your characters? Could you have like sluggish talk to Cookie Monster or something like that?
Well, Tom has voiced the Devil's Toilet in the past. We've yet to pitch the show to Netflix, but it's something to
it'll happen
down the road. Tom, is there a monster that scares you?
Monster that scares me.
Perhaps when you were a kid or something?
I'm not sure if it quite counts, but I remember there was a really scary version of Hound of the Baskervilles, Sherlock Holmes. And the dog, huge glowing eyes, the marsh, that scared the pants off me as a kid.
Which meant you would have fit in with lots of your friends on Sesame Street. They also don't have pants.
No pants at all. Nope.
Ernie and Bert, monsters? Are they just regular people?
I think they're regular people.
I think they're regular.
No, they're monsters. Is it like a tomato and a banana monster?
That's canon. That is. They're Muppets, Dave. That's a different.
Different franchise.
Yeah.
No, but they're on Sesame Street as well.
Has anyone shown? Has anyone shown Alex the Feebles?
What did I see? What?
Have you seen the Feebles, Alex?
I saw Fraggle Rock, but it turns out that I didn't know much about it. So
that gave me nightmares, and I watched it like when I was 21.
Oh wow!
Feebles.
It's called Meet the Feebles. It's like
What's Meet the Feebles about?
It's basically if you took like the Muppets and you mixed it with like cocaine. Yeah. No, I'm not even joking.
That's a Peter Jackson thing, isn't it? It's a Peter Jackson film.
Yeah. One of my boyfriend's friends made us watch it just like out of nowhere, and I had no expectations, and it like ruined me for like a week. I had like messed up dreams. I was like rocking back and forth on the couch. It was messed up. It was cool, but I was like, I was never looking at Muppets again.
Cool, but messed up.
Somebody at New Line Cinema watched that film and said, "This guy should do Lord of the Rings."
Are you looking up pictures, Alex? You gotta.
I've seen the DVD box set. Somebody was like, "Show me." Oh, you gotta watch this. And I was like, "I'm not good with horror films."
It's a comedy. It's not a horror.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a horror.
It's hilarious.
It's horror.
Dave, in Egypt, this beast had the body of a lion and the head of a man. In Greece, it had the breasts and head of a woman and wings. Is it A, a basilisk, B, a sphinx, or C, a chimera?
No, Sphinx. Is it?
Let me just click the little thing. Dave's going to say Sphinx. Sphinx, you are correct. Nailed it.
Go, Dave.
Yeah, Sphinx.
I'm going to give you one more, Dave. This one, I think you'll nail this one. And she's not come up yet.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that before.
Oh.
Are you ready, Dave? Talk about ugly. Just looking at this snakehead monster would turn you to stone. Is it A, Medusa, B, harpies, C, chimera?
Medusa.
Correct, Dave. Or I want to do one more.
None of the above.
The original Hound from Hell. This pooch had 3 heads, a tail and a mane of snakes, and guarded the entrance to Hades. Was it A, a basilisk, C, a Cerberus, or did I say, well, A, B, and then C, a Minotaur?
Cerberus.
What was Sam? You got all mixed up. What was it?
Sorry, a Hound from Hell. This pooch had 3 heads, a tail, and a mane of snakes. Is it a basilisk, a Cerberus, or a Minotaur?
Cerberus.
Cerberus.
Correct.
Yeah,
wow,
Cerberus.
Yeah,
We are
Cerberus.
killing it on this quiz. We've got a bunch more questions, but we'll save them as we go on. There's 10
Pick
questions.
hard ones, Rob. Pick hard ones.
All right, Kelty, this is for you. Don't fail us. This fire-breathing mismatch of a monster was
It's
a
a chimera.
lion with a goat's head in the middle of its back and a dragon's head for a tail.
It's a chimera.
Is it a basilisk, Medusa, or a chimera?
It's a chimera. I'm sorry. I'm a bit of a nerd.
Right, good. We're smashing it. I'm going to look awesome when I share this on Facebook that I got 10 out of 10. Dave, what's your favorite monster?
I reckon it might be this one here.
Hey.
Nice.
Is that the Wrightson one?
This is
Give us a flick, Dave.
This has got who's Plug, I think, does the first.
Oh, nice.
Half of it, Mike Plug, and it's really nice, really nicely done. This is a trade paperback, as you can see. The first thing is basically puts the Mary Shelley book into pictures. So it tells the story initially. Then when they finish with that bit, they used to have his own adventures. And I don't know who writes them. Who writes that? So that's what this is all about. He meets Dracula here.
Cool.
But anyway, yeah, nice art. The writer is Gary Friedrich. Roy Thomas is editing. Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Guy who came up with Ghost Rider.
Right. Who knows Ghost Rider?
We did that, didn't we? Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Wasn't he meant to be reprising that role? I heard he wanted to do it again.
I reckon he would want it. I don't know if anybody else did.
And who are we drawing tonight, Dave?
This is a Mike Manola monster.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
From his sketchbook.
Fishy.
I don't know if it's got a name. It's one of his just one of his loose sketches that he's done.
Yeah, right.
That he'd done.
Cool.
Maybe it's an early Abe Sapien comic.
Yeah, that's what I was getting.
He's apparently he experimented with frogs and fish and putting. So this is a bit fishy. He's got fins up here. There's
We all did crazy things in college.
So there you go. That's what I'm drawing tonight.
Awesome. All right. Well, Josh, you're the one that brought up the monsters theme. What is your favorite or your scariest monster from pop culture? Or
when I was a kid, I was scared of ET actually. But apparently that's not
few people.
Last week was hey.
I heard a few people who were scared of ET. It's a common thing.
I wasn't particularly enamored with him either. It was weird.
Yeah, I never understood the appeal of ET.
Yeah,
I was more of an Alf guy.
The
I
wall
love Al.
he's fighting. And he's amidst all of the soft, plushy toys. He's just sitting there being still and hiding there.
Yeah.
Got under my skin as a kid anyway. But yeah.
Yeah. The extra testicle always made me feel like I was I misheard it. Yeah.
Isn't that supposed to be the T word?
The favorite is probably this dude, but
Oh no! Wait, I pressed the wrong button. Sorry. Instead of enlarging, I pressed remove.
I was just doing. It's just a bit of character design. It's just something a bit of fun.
Oh yeah!
Oh no!
Cool.
Got these cool like graffiti pens, which like if you do it on a wall, they drip down, so you get cool drip writing. They stink to all real bad, but yeah, it's just trying these big writing, just having fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I really like Bram Stoker's Dracula, the film. The costume designs like blew my mind. They came out like 91 or 92. I can't remember. I was pretty young when I saw it. It wasn't scary in the slightest, but it was camp and the lighting and everything is so really loved it. Yeah. So, blew my mind. And so I've always been fond of Dracula, probably because of the film, I guess. And I went to read, and the book wasn't quite as good as the movie, so kind of everything.
If you had to tell a monster story using an established monster, who would you? Do you have a story up there somewhere in your mind that you could tell?
No, but I did invented this weird lady here. I don't know if you can see it. You might want to do that cool thing. I call her the Quoll, and she's got like a quoll's head, like the native cat in Australia. And she's got like a quoll's head. She's a bit overweight. And she's
that's your new book that's coming out next year, isn't it? Or
no,
is it...
This is like I do like a whole couple of exhibitions of like paintings and ink drawings of this sort of lady wandering through.
Oh, okay.
Wandering through a landscape
as part of your projects. Yeah, that is.
A quoll is it's a marsupial, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sometimes called the native cat. There's a few different species. There's a really beautiful one with white spots on the back, which I just think is the most handsome creature in Australia, I think, but not that celebrated in popular culture. But anyway, I just like chucking animal heads on bodies. It's kind of fun.
Yes. What's her story? Is she a half quoll, half person, or is she wearing a mask? Or
no, she's not wearing a mask. I think I just sort of conceived of her as this kind of almost like a spiritual, I don't know, kind of just wandering the landscape. Really, I didn't really give her a proper story. I just sort of drew a lot of pictures and went, "Oh, these pictures kind of work."
Yeah,
they feel like they've got narrative, but I haven't got any ideas as to what they mean. So I just kept it nice and symbolic and weird, and didn't bother explaining anything. And people went, "Oh, great, nice work, Josh." And I went, "Okay, cool." So I didn't make the book; it's just a bunch of paintings. But yeah, I don't know what to do with her. So maybe I'll come up with something. I'm not sure. But
it's funny. She actually reminds me of what would be my scariest monsters, and I've only just thought of it now. My doctors that I have been going to since I was a kid had on the wall a huge mural, which would have been like 15 A3 size squares of these technically meant to be maybe cute, but they weren't cute monsters. Like there would be a hand monster and a crab monster and sort of thing, and then on the wall next to it would be like a little index of this artist had named them all and given them little backstories. And only just now with that quoll thing was just like, oh, that's just brought up a weird memory. And they recently, like 10 years ago, they redid the whole complex and got rid of that mural. And it's like I tried a while ago to try and find out Vermont Healthcare mural, trying to find out who did it, but yeah, it's lost for the ages. But while we are talking to Josh, even though I just interrupted and talked my own nonsense, but let's talk a little bit further to him and find out all about him in a segment we call this.
Now it's that part of the show where we shine a big shiny spotlight on one of our creator friends. This week, we welcome
Name
and talk about their creative journey. Please, everybody, make some noise for
Name.
That's right. This week's name is Joshua Santospirito. Thank you for coming on our little show here. Now, you've probably done this sort of thing 100 times. I don't know, but I would love to know about your journey into comics and creating and storytelling and where your love of art came from and those sorts of things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thanks for having me. It's
it's
nice.
Awesome. Our pleasure.
Nice when people. Oh, someone's holding my book up. That's weird. Oh, it's Dave. Yeah, I started making comics when I was a kid. I was just obsessed with Asterix, and I think Mum, in an effort to maybe shut me up, used to give me tracing paper.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know if other people had this, but Mum's era of parenting, they thought, oh, if you want your kid to draw pictures, you train them by just give them tracing paper. And so I used to trace Asterix and Garfield and Foot Rot Flats. I was really big into Foot Rot Flats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and used to collect The Age. I grew up in Melbourne, so I used to collect the comics out of The Age and like cut them up into the different 4 comics and then put them in a big shoebox with an elastic band.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then recently, Mum and Dad have been going through the attic in Melbourne and throwing out shit. And that's what. And right. And
Gotcha.
she sent me a bunch of single page, and there was one sort of 7-page comic I think I made when I was about 10 or 11. I was like, I was a bit astonished. I'd forgotten about it.
And how was it?
It wasn't bad. Like I sometimes do workshops with 10-year-olds. I was like, wow, I wasn't bad at comics when I was 10 because I've seen what I was doing.
A lot of shit 10-year-olds out there.
Wow. Why don't I even pretend that we don't swear on this show? Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I did a lot of art as a teenager, but then I became an adult and forgot all that, that silly stuff. And didn't make much art. Became a psychiatric nurse, and then moved out to Alice Springs in my mid-20s and worked in Aboriginal communities in psychiatric nursing, which is, it's weird enough to work in mental health nursing in your own culture, let alone try and do it across culture and cross-linguistically. And
wow.
So I started realizing that my journals started filling with lots of drawings and writing, just trying to kind of process the weird world I found myself in. And I realize now, looking back, that I've always done drawings and words, not necessarily making comics, but sort of using both to kind of triangulate.
That must have brought up some quite, to you, strange stories, or like, I don't even know how, like a psychiatric ward, and then in a community that, it differs from your own. I imagine is there a difference there, like in terms of like what the episodes they have, or from?
Yeah. I guess, when you're talking about psychiatric illnesses in hospitals or even in the community, I guess you're talking about the big ones like schizophrenia and bipolar. Sometimes depression, but that wasn't something that I guess the pointy end of psychiatric services tend to deal with quite as much. But people with psychotic illnesses, I guess they might express their psychiatric illness in different ways, like relative to their culture. Like you wouldn't find a desert-dwelling Aboriginal person talking about the CIA.
Yeah.
White Australians do all the time, so we'll be talking about a different sort of indigenous sort of version or paranoid kind of like delusion or something like that if they've got a psychotic illness. So
does any of that sort of experience then creep into your work at all?
Well, that book that Dave was just holding up, I don't think I've got a copy.
I've got some images from it here.
Yeah, that's one. That's this. I ended up I left Central Australia and moved to Tasmania, where I am now. And
can you give us a flick?
Oh, flick? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So we can just get a look. Oh, there's some prose in there as well.
At the back, there's a bit of prose.
Right.
It's
some nice page layouts you got there.
Yeah, sort of. I think I found it really difficult to start, so I just said I'm gonna do a 9-panel format, and I think I found that freeing because I just chose a format, and then I was free to break it too. But I moved to Tassie, and I was busy trying to process all of the stuff I'd seen and heard in Central Australia. What is a white person doing in Central Australia, and was I doing any good? And what is this thing called colonization? Like out there, it's very raw, and I think I found making a comic helped me with kind of processing that sort of stuff. And I had this friend, a really weird friend. Like, he's a very good friend, but like he's an unusual human. Kind of I wouldn't say he's a mentor, but he was kind of he's an older bloke who's a psychiatrist, a Jungian psychoanalyst, and they're always a little bit mystical. He used to send me things he'd written for sort of academic Jungian books, and some of them I went right over my head. And then he sent me one called A Long Weekend in Alice Springs, and I kind of liked it, even if I didn't fully understand it. So I just, because it sort of reminded me of a lot of my own experiences, so I started drawing that, and just in random form, and realized that kind of some scenes actually worked in comics. In fact, I thought they worked better in comics than they did in his prose. So something about comics' ability to move between space and time and jump into mythology and then back into real life really easily. I think worked well, which is what he was doing in his essay, but I think it worked better in comics. So I just kept doing it. And then after a while, after 5 years, it turned into a book, and and that was I published it in 2013, shopped it around, but there was even less publishers back then than there are now.
What were you sort of reading back then that, like, the sort of common journey is we're little kids who read Superman, and then we kind of make our own version of Superman, and then somewhere down the line we start telling those juicy non-fictional stories. But you starting at non-fictional for your first book, what were you reading? Something that inspired that sort of, you kind of getting heavy with it straight out the gate?
Yeah, I mean, I was reading Craig's work. He's the psychoanalyst guy. A lot of sort of stuff trying to understand the world I'd found myself in.
Yes.
And I think it was heavy on my head. Like, I wanted to understand it, so I was just drawing to understand it, and then it sort of turned into a big art project. Which, once it got to a certain point, I went, I have to see this through. I guess this is a book.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any other comic artists around me to tell me that that's going to take effing years.
Well, that's another thing too. Most people sort of start small with their sort of first book, and then you've gone for this tome sort of thing. And I imagine if you're translating something from one sort of medium to another, once you've committed, you've got to tell the whole journey, right? And was there a time where you almost put the pencil down, or did you manage to keep that sort of enthusiasm going?
I think that's maybe just a personality trait of mine. I'm pretty good at discipline, which I think you need if you're going to do long form comics. And people draw that from different ways. Some people, from fear. I think I was just compelled to do that book because I wanted to understand, and I think I found that process of drawing most nights after work just really useful and strangely soothing. I think a lot of at the heart of that book is that a lot of we don't actually know, and just sort of swimming around in this idea of not knowing what the answers are to colonization. And I actually found that comforting because everyone's got a bloody opinion about what to do about the indigenous problem, and here was this piece of writing which said I don't know, and I found that really refreshing, and I wanted to inhabit that space, so I was just drawing that and figuring out how to make a comic at the same time. And I thought the material was pretty great, but I didn't understand it as well, so I was also drawing to understand what I was reading because it made me feel a little bit like I was in control of all of those experiences I had. So in some ways it was a therapeutic in some
And how was the original author's reaction to the book?
Oh yeah, no, he digs it. He's a really odd man. He does plays and stuff. Like back in the 60s, he was in Soho in London studying psychology and doing plays with David Bowie and choreographing in strip joints, and now he's like some sort of mystical kind of old man in the desert, sort of working with Aboriginal people to sort of and white people to kind of come up with ways of thinking about psychiatry cross-culturally, and he's putting on sort of Greek mythology plays in the desert. He's a really unusual fellow.
He doesn't have a quoll for a head, does he?
I think it's a quoll for a brain. Anyway, so I did that in 2013, and then I that took 5 years, so I was pretty tired. I was also pretty nervous. Like making a book involving lots of Aboriginal people is, you could stuff that up pretty easily. And look back on that book and I kind of think, there's a few things I definitely would do differently with the skills I have now.
Yeah,
writing and drawing, But I was busy doing my first comic. It just happened to be a graphic novel.
Yeah.
I'm okay with my younger self. He did the best he could. At the time. And he hadn't done art for quite a few years, and then suddenly he was just doing this big art project because he felt like he had to. So I'm
I got a question. Yeah. I got a question with the indigenous stuff. So when you were drawing, did you consult before publishing? And is there any tidbits that you can tell us some stuff you have to pay attention or change or something we should think about, or or learn something we can learn about the culture or something like that? Something interesting.
Yeah. I think you got to have just a truckload of humility. You don't know anything. So that means when you're consulting, you're just having a million conversations. So you also have to be really patient because conversations, they take a long time. I've found, and to do it properly, you have to allow that time. So if you're in a hurry, you're probably going to stuff it up. Yeah, which isn't easy for a lot of white people, I think, because they've got deadlines, and I don't know if I've got any, silver bullets or anything, any sort of pearls of wisdom.
Not a silver bullet, but more like maybe like an anecdote or a story or something interesting to share.
Yeah. Well, look, the sort of the main person that I guess both Craig and I were using as a sort of not just a consultant, but a consultant, I guess, on the book. She's I guess an Aranda elder in Alice Springs and very interested in arts, and so she was sort of a great person to be sort of a champion for the book from an Aboriginal perspective. And but when we were sort of I got a small grant from Arts Tasmania to cover some of the book, and they wanted it to be signed off by the Aboriginal people of Alice Springs, and so that was really stressful because they weren't very clear back then, and I don't know if they're really clear these days either about their what signed off means. So we went and had a chat with Doris and in Alice Springs, and she didn't really want to be named either because although she was probably the least worst person still alive for a lot of the stuff that we had in the book, or the best person, but sort of because some of the dreaming stories that she said we could use, she's a woman, but it was a male dreaming story, and her uncle who passed away was the last person sort of important for that story, even though it's kind of like the children's version of the story, and so it's actually in public domain, public knowledge, so it's okay for us to republish it. She didn't want to be named in any way as the person who'd signed it off, because Aboriginal people have a lot of opinions within their own system, circles, and so someone might suddenly accuse her of doing something, and she'd have to deal with a lot of grief. But when I went to explain that after we'd had these long discussions about sort of, sign off, and then going to explain that to the art institutions who funded the project so that they could know that it was signed off, I think I found that it was really difficult as well, being sort of stuck between the expectations of a white art institution and completely understanding the weird situation that I might be placing an Indigenous person who's not being paid because we don't have anything, and who's championing the book, but also doesn't want to champion it too publicly, otherwise there'd be grief. There's all these sort of layers that I couldn't have understood unless we'd had these long conversations with her, and eventually everyone sort of was like satisfied, I guess. But it wasn't pleasant. It was a lot of stress and trying to make sure that everyone was happy. And so for a long time I was like, I'm probably not going to do a project involving Aboriginal stuff for quite some time. I sort of got through it now, but I remember being very stressed, particularly in the lead up to the opening of the book, and also worrying that people might misconstrue what was in the book, or if I hadn't done a good enough job, or
well, fast forwarding to now, you've got a book that I believe you're working on that's coming out later this year. Is that how's that traveling for you? A little less stressful, or is it another heavy topic, or how are you going with it?
Well, before that, I did a book in 2015 about my dad's ancestors migrating to Melbourne.
Okay,
that was very light. And I didn't really want to do lots of panels and just sort of very loose touring style. Didn't really worry about it too much. And so that was really embraced by the Italian community of Melbourne. It was quite nice.
Okay.
Launched it in Carlton, and it was really good. And so this book that I've got, it's actually coming out in the middle of next year through a book publisher, Scribe Publications, who are based in Melbourne. That's a page which will sort of go into it. I think I redid that page though, but
classic.
I like the Vespa.
Yeah. Well, so the book is a story about me going with my parents back to the Aeolian Islands, which are north of Sicily. And look, this book's taken me, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. But it's just a story about me traveling with my parents, trying not to go crazy because I'm traveling with my parents.
Yeah.
Doing like a sort of a road trip through some islands where Dad has this, ancestry, and I'm bickering with my parents constantly, and it was really funny, and it was quite a joy to draw. And I was just drawing my family basically, and my brothers and my sister and my parents and us sort of squabbling, and it was the funnest art project I've ever done. And I wish that I'd known that when I was younger. I would have started with this project. Because drawing people that you love for an entire book is quite nice. Who'd have thought?
Nick can relate.
Yeah, and the stakes are low.
Nick May can't.
Now, Josh, a question that I like to ask people who are part of the Australian comics community, but maybe inhabit a slightly different space than us here. I would love to know from your perspective, how goes Australian comics at the moment? How do you see the landscape? Good, bad, indifferent? What do you think?
Good.
Okay.
I guess I'm not sure that all of you guys. I guess I see myself as kind of inhabiting, what Americans might refer to as indie comics. I don't know if that's really relevant in Australia, but like the comics that are being made, which are probably being picked up by book publishers, not necessarily superhero or genre focused comics. Being involved with the Comic Art Workshop, which is a pretty amazing organization. I've just sort of stepping down as one of the co-directors this year and handing it on to some new co-directors. But through that organization, I guess we've done 4 residencies now. Every 2 years, COVID permitting, there is a residency, and so I've got a really cool, it's an amazing little insight into what's coming. So during COVID, manga sales went through the roof, and all of these book publishers suddenly went, maybe we should have been publishing comics all this time. So, the big 4 or 5 publishers in Australia, like Hachette, Allen and Unwin have always been publishing comics, but Hachette Australia, Random House, what are they all? I forget all their names. They're all looking behind the scenes to see if they can find someone. Even agents are suddenly picking up some graphic novels. Not a lot, but it's for the first time in all of Australian comics history, agents are looking to represent graphic novels. More and more Australians getting signed overseas.
Cool.
So there's Sarah Firth's got an amazing book coming out later this year through Allen and Unwin's little subprint Joan Press. Chris Gooch is doing another one. Campbell White's doing another one. Rachel Ang is signed to Drawn and Quarterly. Simon Hanselman, Lee Lyon, Tommy Parrish all doing great things over in the States. Who else is there? Gosh, you get this kind of sense that the area where Australian comics can grow the most is probably in the book publishing industry, because they haven't been doing anything, and they have an amazing network already established. So that could do great things for suddenly increasing the number of comics made by Australians. And that's happening behind the scenes. It's just going to take a bit of time for the books to actually come out.
Yeah.
So I think it's great.
Excellent.
There's always areas to. I'm in love with comics.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Josh. We could obviously talk for another hour, but it's time to look at some art.
Let's do it, Rob. Let's do another hour.
Hey, we were told last week we did an hour 49, and the comments were too long. I want to go to bed. So we've reached the hour mark. That's the time to start looking at some pictures.
I better get on to this. I'll send this off.
Hurry up, Brad.
I'm hurrying. I'm hurrying. Okay.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, you go.
How do I spell my name again?
Oh, hang on, Joshua. Yeah, I'll just bring that up.
Oh, I just decided I was going to play with a bit of ink, so I just did this.
Oh yeah,
that's so cool.
Hell yeah!
Wow.
This is having a bit of fun.
Well done, Josh.
Thanks.
That's cool. Well done.
All right, Sis.
Okay, our first one that came in was from Marty Wells. This is the guy who draws on his phone with his finger.
Marty.
Oh, yeah. Nice, Marty.
Very nice, Marty.
What's that thing on the right? Looks like an
Where is it? Can I see
interpretation
it?
of that scientist guy from the
Oh
Muppet
yeah.
Show.
Looks like poltergeist.
Wow.
Poltergeist, is it?
Oh,
Yeah, some sort of. He didn't say what it was. I'm assuming a ghost.
It's not Blue
Ghost of the
Pole.
Swedish Chef.
I think Alex is in his pants.
Definitely not Blue.
It's not a spider. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
cool.
It's not a spider. And
Good on you,
Shan
Marty. Well done, mate.
sent this in. Nice and gruesome.
Shan.
Well,
Sean actually
right.
just closed the Liza Ray
Oh.
#2 Kickstarter. Absolutely
Yes,
killed
he
it.
did.
Good on you, Dushan. Very nice, mate.
reminds me of a Lee Chalker monster.
Does a bit, doesn't it?
Got
Yeah,
eyeballs and
yeah, it's
really.
really.
It's all mixed
Yeah,
up.
Landon sent one
Very
in.
good.
I'll bring it up twice.
Neil.
Oh, Neil.
Neil.
yeah.
No,
That would be
Oh,
that'd be from
um,
the what's that? Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pale
That's-
Man, I think I said it's called.
It's
Hail.
one of the most impressive character designs in movie history. I think that particular monster. Yeah, good choice.
Cool.
Didn't he reuse that one for
I don't think I've ever
one of his
seen it.
Hellboy movies?
Did he?
Same actor.
Don't know.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
same
so
guy who
that's-
played Abe Sapien. Was the same guy in Shape of Water. So there is a connection there.
I want to know, what does he do when he has to wipe his bum?
It's a close look.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, he's not going to miss though, is he?
So we've got Darren Huddy, who went for the Someone Slaying a Monster.
Oh, yeah, Darren.
Oh, nice.
What
For
the heck?
those
Wow,
who
mate.
creators who are watching, we have the ComX Discord, and Darren shares lots of his work in various stages, from pencils right through to 3D modeling like that. Well worth a look.
Yeah.
Amazing. Very good.
That's interesting.
Darren's awesome.
It looks like
And then
got a
we've
photo
got
in the
the
background.
Spedsy
isn't it?
Monster.
Oh,
Montage.
yeah.
Spedsy.
I
Got it.
actually,
Nice, nice.
I have a couple of traditional ones here that my kids did. They wanted to. We had a crisis of conscience. Filmed a little video of them showing them, and then my wife was like, "Do we really want them on the internet?" And I was like, "Yeah, probably not." So here I am doing my best impression. So this is what my daughter said. Look at me. I'm just a normal robot girl. Beep boop boop.
Are those snakes? Are those
Good
snakes
eye.
coming out of her mouth?
They're spiders,
I
Alex.
think it's electric
Spiders.
Spiders, look at
wires.
that.
Electric
okay.
wires. Nice.
It's
And
a
then
mad
my,
clothing.
It's like a fold out.
my son
Yeah.
said, "That's awesome. Can I write on mine?" Copied my sister because he did.
Oh, nice.
So there you go.
So next
So
week,
So it's a roach.
all
Hey,
your
yeah.
saying we only do digital in this house. There's two traditionals in your face.
Spedsy, your son is a chip off the old block because you rip off everyone. That's good.
You should see my sister's art. I rip off my sister's style all the time. What's
Yeah,
next?
where were we up to? I've
Thanks,
lost my
Pete.
spot. Oh, there we are. Next one is Davo77.
Ah,
It's all
Davo.
brilliant.
that's
He's
the
seen in
way,
this
mate.
one.
We've seen that before, Davo.
Yeah, he's seen that one before. I've seen this one before as well, but then he also
Have
threw
we?
this one in the mix.
Oh,
Ah, werewolf. Dingo. Werewolf. Which one?
Yeah, depends.
I'm doing
And
a
then he
Were
also
Dingo
threw
story
this one into the
tomorrow.
mix.
oh, Davo's just
Oh.
churning them.
Ah, Davo. Swamp. What's that one?
Nice.
Monster
He's
from
like
the
a
Black
mood,
Lagoon.
baby.
I'm going to skip a few because his daughter, Kiana, drew this monster.
Holy moly!
Oh, wow.
I thought his
Nice.
daughter was like 7 or
Wow.
something.
She's 14.
Oh, okay.
Still.
Wow, that's good.
I mean, yeah,
That's
that's
very
amazing.
impressive.
That
Great
is
work,
awesome.
Very
Kiana.
good, Diana.
Horrifying.
Very good
A lot of
stuff.
band-aid on her nose. I love that she like had some sort of wound on her nose. She thought to put a band-aid on. Meanwhile, this whole bottom of her face is I don't know, needs some stitches, something. That's amazing.
Very good, Kiana.
And then Kelsey
don't listen
sent
to Rob. You're great.
I'll take it down because sometimes it doesn't go properly if I do it in this order. Sexy
Oh,
zombies.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at the little pumpkin head there. Hit for this. It's really good.
Kelsey.
What are we looking at? Who are they all?
Oh, we got a devil girl.
I chose some OG ones and then some obscure ones. So what do you reckon? That's Pumpkin Chick. Cause
Is that werewolf in the middle top? Like the werewolf tail?
Yep.
There's definitely the swamp creature there on the bottom left.
Yep.
Oh yeah. And then the lady with her head on her leg. What is
zombie.
Oh, zombie.
Zombie.
And then above is like a spider lady.
That's just a vampire.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That's just boring. Oh.
and then
I picked a devil for the front one because I was like, I'll do something fun.
Yeah, wow.
Why not?
Very good.
I like peanut bar. It's fun stuff.
Yeah. The pumpkin face one. There's a story there. That looks awesome.
Thank you. That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's wicked.
Very good, Kels.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so next off the mark is Nick May.
Hello.
Couldn't make it to the show, but he has still had time to draw.
Excellent. Good on you, Nick.
Excellent colours.
Chernobyl's done it again.
Where are the shoes?
Yeah, where are the shoes? Nick, come on.
He's a very pensive Frankenstein, isn't he? Very pensive.
Yeah.
Thinking.
He's been
So
around.
after all that talk of Sesame
Fire
Street
bad.
and the monsters on Sesame Street, just so happens that Janet Locke.
Oh, nice.
Good one, Janet. Very nice.
Okay.
Janet, if you would ever like to come on the show, we would love to have you.
Oh,
We'd love
yeah,
to have you.
What's the email contact? Is it the same place I can order my
And then
coffee?
speaking of Cookie Monster, Dan May did a pretty cool version of him.
Holy moly.
Oh, nice. Hey, isn't that the drummer character from the
Down the bottom,
what's
yeah.
the
Animal.
drummer's name?
Animal.
Animal. Oh, there you go.
Robin.
Nice one, Dan.
That's a very
Well done.
Lovecraftian interpretation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's horrifying as well. Looks like feathers for hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a
Dan.
half spin with Elmo down the bottom. It definitely is animal now that I look at it, but looked like a baby bird version of Elmo. Said's
Now,
been said,
Chris sent me these. Hopefully they're for the show. I'm going to bring them up anyway.
Nice.
Whoa. Oh, yeah, Jack.
Wow.
Oh, it's written in the tree, in the branch as well. Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, wicked.
Dr.
Who's that?
Acula.
Who's that?
Wow.
Who's done that?
Kelsey.
Kelsey's did that. Oh, right. You did too tonight.
Sizzle.
Yeah, well done, Kelsey.
Just
What are
being
we
outed.
doing? Why are we laughing? What am I missing?
I just showed him how much of a geek I am for this stuff.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, is that all that was meant to be? Sorry, I didn't know if it
No,
was
no,
meant to
that's
be
all good.
or not.
That's all good. I was like, I did, some cover
You sent
art.
it to me during the show. I assume
what's
it's for
the one?
did.
What's the one living in the little coffin there? That's
Yeah, well,
weird.
they're all Dracula. I ended up obviously doing the top one as my finished one, but I just wanted to do a Dracula cover for shits and gigs. I mean, for fun.
Hey, Kelsey, did you read the Twilight books? Just out of curiosity.
I did, and I went through that phase where I liked it, and then I was like vehemently against it because I was like, it's disgusting. And now I'm back on board, but I'm aware of how bad it is. I'm like, it's like a guilty pleasure.
Can see some Twilight book covers.
Good on
Yeah.
The vibes there.
It's bad, but it's the bad literature is what makes us better people, I think.
That's good.
Hey Tom, nice
You're
comment
right.
here for you if you can see your screen.
Mate, dang it.
Nice.
Tom, did you see it?
No, I'm lagging a bit.
Oh, there you go.
Tom Tung is extremely talented.
Thank you very much.
Well, we all know
He's
that.
very talented.
I think extremely did the work. We don't need to.
Extremely varied.
Oh, what do we got,
So-
Sid?
Next up is one of our regulars. I don't think he's missed a show in quite a while.
Wow.
Mr. Tony Menzies.
There's a bit of extreme colour there.
Doing very well.
Tone.
Oh, good on you, Tone. Well done,
Mummies
mate.
must be
So
fun for
detailed.
penciling and inking all those lines.
Yeah,
There's
Tony,
like the
wrap
texture on the skin.
I'd love to
Yeah.
know how long these take you, Tony. Like, there is a lot of lines going on.
Yeah, a lot of work in that.
Jeez.
That
That mummy
would have
really
taken
good
a lot of work.
Mm.
And then,
Very
then
good, Tony.
is Kelsey's real.
Kelsey.
Oh,
smashing
I'm
that.
just being a hob today.
Yeah, look at that.
Yes.
That's
Oh, wow. Who's
That's
that?
got a Dylan Naylor vibe
Corpse
to it.
Bride.
It's right, isn't it? Tim
Who's
Burton.
that character?
It's Tim Burton's. It's Tim Burton, but it's not Corpse Bride. It's Sally from Night Before
Sally.
Christmas.
Aunt
Because
Sally.
we were talking about Frankenstein, and she's basically Frankenstein, but you know,
Yeah,
That's
she's a cool character.
she is.
That's right. Her arms.
Favorite in this house. Just
That's
so I
right,
can
they do.
say.
Yeah.
He was, very cool.
Very good,
And
Kelsey.
then Mr. Brad Daniels.
Ah, Bradley.
Wow, good on you, Brad.
So yeah.
Is that Stan Lee's Batman?
No, well,
Man.
here's the background on that. I didn't know I was going to be on the show until quite late in the piece.
Yes,
And I was
that's true.
supposed to be designing a character for my comic. So I combined the two.
I was going to ask.
Hey.
That's a monster called a Niktuku, which will...
Wait, say that again. Nick, Paddywhack, give a dog a bone.
Niktuku.
I was going to ask if that's for Alpha Sprites.
It certainly is.
Wow,
Oh,
good
cool.
on you. Very
So
good,
now,
Brad.
at last I know what it looks like. But I do have one more. I'd like to put this up on camera if I could.
No.
Okay,
We'd really
so
prefer
this is
it
one
if you
that
didn't,
this is the drawing because the real monster is man, people.
Ah, self-portrait. Excellent.
I've seen those guys in Adelaide. Yeah, they are.
Is that Kevin Federer, Brittany's husband from 10 years ago?
Isn't
No,
that
it's just
That's Brad
a picture
Daniels.
of a guy that I drew, and I was like, "Oh well, that's time for the joke about the real monster being man." Yeah, that's it.
I was actually going to draw,
Was it worth it,
Vladimir
guys?
Putin.
Was it worth it?
well
My
worth a
favorite
try?
bit was the explaining of it. That
well.
Groovy.
Peter thought it was groovy.
Hey,
All right,
Rob.
well, Trav, are you working?
Yeah.
What?
Hello.
What's happening?
We hear you.
Hey,
We can hear you, buddy.
can you hear me?
Yeah, do you want?
Can you hear me? Oh,
Yes.
Can you hear me though, Trav?
it's a terrible night tonight. Sorry. Sorry.
Damn it.
Ask him a question, Rob. He thinks it's the
Are
delay.
you working traditional or digital? Can we look at what you've been working on?
Yeah, sure. Can you put me up full screen?
Yeah, sure.
thing.
Yeah.
There it goes. Here we go.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, what are we looking at?
Lots of
Good
work
on you,
going into
Trevor.
that.
Wacko, mate.
Talk us through it, Trav. We don't often get to have you explain your super detailed Easter egg filled work. So we've got like some sort of
Yeah.
That's from the labyrinth, right?
We've got
Yep.
gremlins.
Ah, and there's gremlins all over the
No,
shop.
no. These are some. So there's some gremlins here, right there, and here, and because I was a big fan of Steven Spielberg over the last few weeks, I don't know if you're familiar with the show Amazing Stories. This is a monster from one of the episodes of his series that he did called The Greeble. And over here is Hayley Mills. I think that's her name. Yeah,
Hayley
who used to
Mills,
be in
yeah,
the
the
old
actress.
Parent Trap films.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wow.
so these two were in an episode of Steven Spielberg's TV series, and I thought it'd be pretty cool to draw them and do some color for a change because I haven't done color in a while.
wow.
Very good,
Great
mate.
work, man.
Excellent.
I love
Yeah,
that he's
good on
taking a
you,
bite
Trav.
out of the chair there. That's great.
Yeah, he eats inanimate objects and makes a mess. Makes a lot of mess around our house, much as the gremlins do. So that's why I included him in here.
At your place?
Yeah, yeah, you could say so.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Very good,
Yeah.
mate.
So who have we missed? Somebody? No, we got. I guess we'll talk to Tom and have a look at his finished piece. Oh, sorry, Nick. I just pooped on
Don't
it.
show some dribble.
Yeah.
You want to see that again before we move to Tom?
Fantastic.
My quick search.
Oh,
for some
cool.
dribble.
Ah, yeah, right.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Yeah.
You nailed the likenesses, Trav.
Very good,
Yeah.
mate.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's check in with Tom. Sorry, Tom.
It's a great show.
Hey, Bubba.
It's a really good show.
Here we go.
Fantastic.
There's your Monster Energy drink.
Excellent.
And
Om nom nom.
Nice.
That's so beautiful. Wow.
Oh,
Excellent.
Very good. Well done, Tom. What's the top
fantastic
one,
work, Tom.
What's the can at the top? What's that?
it's like a Monster Energy drink.
Oh, that's a brand,
Yeah.
is it? In the,
Yeah.
Now, Cookie Monster, I don't know if you're still there. What do you think of your drawing there that Tom's done?
Tom have okay like
We're
this,
putting too
but
much caffeine in the can.
every cookie need good drink afterwards.
Excellent.
Does
Thank you,
Cookie
Cookie
Monster hang out with Elmo?
Yeah,
Well,
done. Fantastic, Tom.
If Cookie Monster see you can answer this question.
Let's get a close up on Dave's thing here. We haven't seen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What do we got, Dave?
well,
Self-portrait?
that's that critter, whatever it was. He hasn't got a name for it. It's just one of his sketches, Mike Mignola. I know I've had to make the colours up myself.
If you had to name it, Dave, what would you name it?
Fibian.
Nice.
I don't know.
Let's call it Jeff.
But that's
Jeff,
watercolor
yeah.
pencils I've used.
It's
You know,
really nice.
watercolour
Dave.
pencils for the colour.
Yeah, really
Indian
nice.
ink for the ink.
Nice.
And initially sketched in graphite.
Nice.
Cool.
Excellent. Thanks, Dave. All right. So this is called Drink and Draw, but it's this time of night where we turn into Dance and Draw. For those not familiar, Alex Major likes to animate his illustrations, and you will find it'll be a monster of some sort, likely dancing with an Australian character. First to guess in the room wins a sturdy, nice handshake from Alex next time you see him.
Or like a steady income, but oh well. Steady handshake.
I gotta get one of those first. All right. Dance.
Oh, yeah, I can't see it.
Dance and draw. Is it up?
No.
Now it is.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta wait for the music cue, Dave.
Oh, it's so.
That'd be Frankenstein and Lana.
Lana Luca.
Lana Luca, yeah. Had a birthday the other day.
Was it? Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
It was your birthday as well, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh, yeah. It was.
It was Dave, not Dave, but David Reed's birthday as well.
64 I was, Alex.
Oh,
There we
wow.
go.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Thank you very much.
I'm just hearing static noise in the background. It's just making it more funny. Dancing the TV static in the background.
You still dancing.
We're getting a lot of characters now.
All the stuff is just adding up.
clip.
There you go. That's my favourite one.
One of it.
Nicknames involved. Well, the nicknames in another one, but there's no dancing involved.
All right, Alex. And what do people have to do?
You're going to need to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so that reminds you. There you go. Ring the bell to remind you to watch the game. And there's also plenty of other shows to watch. So look around the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And fade to black.
Brad's enjoying it. I love the energy Brad's bringing to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, Sis,
rock on,
before we
dude.
go into our next/last segment, have I missed anything?
I haven't really been paying attention. Oh no.
Okay.
I
I
don't think we have. I think we've done it this time. So we can
Unless, quick for part of our promo, do you want to run
the
some
promo.
Ella whatnots?
Let's talk about it when it's my turn.
All right, we'll do that then, mate.
That's fine.
Right.
This poor person is looking through the newspaper for info on what projects our artists have been working on. And this lost individual is using a map to find where she can follow our artists on social media and buy their books. How about we save them the trouble and just tell them? We call this next segment Shameless Self-Promotion.
Awesome. Oh, look at that. Even though it's my turn.
Nice, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Sorry.
No, I'm just joking around.
Sorry, there you go. No worries. I'll just have a piss.
Well, I usually do the shop. So I'll just put that up. ComX.shop. That's where you can get a whole bunch of books from a lot of different people around Australia who do indie comics. All in one place, all for one flat postage rate if you live in Australia. We now do international. So that will be calculated at the cart, checkout, whatever. So yeah, but I wanted to show a video of a new comic that we just did.
Yeah.
Because, well, I want to be the same as Quick. So here we go. That is in print as we speak, and it will be available in the shop hopefully next week, if not the week after. And I'll be sending it out to all the people who did the pre-orders next week.
That's excellent. Can't wait. Yeah, so I have a Kickstarter that I was hoping to launch today, but I got sick and didn't. But so if you head to .comx.studio, depression, anxiety, slugs. This one has a cat in it. Sluggish number 2 is on the way. But otherwise, psychojanitor.com if you're into toilets from hell that accidentally bring the apocalypse with them to Earth. And then Frederick Trelawney, the turtle detective, helps them put the devils back in the something or other. It's a good time. Psychojanitor.com. Meanwhile, Quick has some new books.
Yeah, I've been plugging my books lately. I've got a video here. Let's start with that. Someone push the button for me.
Oh,
and I'll wait.
All right.
Sons of Uncle Sam by Edward Meeker, Edison Record. We are happy to meet the sons of Uncle Sam. Rollicking boys from Yankee Doodle Land. The stars and stripes and pearls, they've shown to all the world. But waiting there, the boys to meet the band.
There you go.
Nice video.
Enough
You do it
put
yourself.
together. Now's a good time to hold it up, Alex.
Okay, there
There you go.
You're not the boss of me, Nick. You're not
I'd
the
hold
boss of
mine
me.
up, but
So that's Propeller Ella. I think the book, that little trailer says quite a little bit. It's a book that's told, I don't know, in a sideways landscape form. Got a few other books featuring a lot of these talented so-and-sos. Flyboys, as Spency's holding up. Dave's in there. Alex is in there. There's a few other people in there. got a book about my dad, which I promoted last week. So watch last week's episode. And you can find all these books and more at detectivebudgie.net. There you go.
Nailed it.
Now you know where to go. Alrighty. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Very
Kelsey.
good movie there. Quick. Well done,
Thanks,
mate.
man.
Look,
Yeah.
very well done.
Cheers.
Kelsey, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram mostly at gloomrains.com. Gloomrains.com. What am I saying? At gloomrains. Oh gosh. Anyway, you know I was paying attention. No, the reason what I was actually doing was because I haven't actually finished my comic yet. I started it on Webtoon a couple years ago, probably almost 2 years ago now, and stopped it because I didn't have time, and I've started to rewrite it and redraw it this year. So most of my content is just concept art and final designs, which I've mostly uploaded in the Creator Private Lounge. Shane, just if you wanted to show any of it, I don't really mind. But that is what you can see if you care.
Awesome.
And hopefully, I have no idea how I'm going to try and publish it when I finish it, because I'm mostly an online digital webcomic artist, but I love seeing like web comics in print form. It gives me like this really nice feeling when I finally get a webcomic I've been following for years and they do a print copy of it and I buy it. I'm all over that. Don't know if anyone's read Sacro Profane by Merker and Dolfo or Lore Olympus by Rachel Smythe. Those are two incredibly famous webcomics that had print copies. The Merker and Dolfo I could only buy in Italy, and I literally went to Italy and bought them so I could have the print copies of them.
Wow,
yeah,
that's so
hardcovers
cool.
too. I spent my euro. I got to find them because they're in storage right now, but they're fucking
Did you do anything
beautiful.
else in Italy, or just pick up the comics and come back?
Oh yeah, I just popped over to Italy because I was studying
Oh, that's
there.
a baller
and
move. That's a baller move. That's cool.
No, I was studying there when I was 18, and I knew that the only place to get this comic was in Italy. So I got a bookshop in Venice to order it in for me when I was there, so I could buy it. That's how much I loved it.
Did you ask it in English, or did you do it in Italian?
No, I learned how to read. I learned how to read Italian by reading that comic because I was so obsessed with it in high school.
That's how I learned French.
Not very
comics.
fluent, but I. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. So that's
beautiful.
the cover. That's the cover art I've done for the thing I'm doing, and then I've got my finalized concept art that I finally finished for the main character.
So pretty.
Which
That's
has been
wicked.
thanks. So it's gonna be a matter of just actually getting all the panels done now, and that's where you can find me doing on Instagram most of the time.
What about you, Mr. Chill?
Thanks, Phil.
Just chill. Yeah, sorry. Okay, maybe it's less chill if I just put fat. Cool, Mr. Fat. Anyway, so Propeller Ella, I bought it. Now, Nick's telling you have to read it like this, but he's not the boss of you. You can challenge yourself and read it like a normal book, like this. And they're like, things are sideways. I can read sideways. So there you go. So this is how I read the book. Yeah.
Hey, if you want to find out how you read the book.
Yeah. Flyboys, on the other hand, I read it like this. You go like, look at this. I'm reading it like a naughty magazine. Then I don't know, we don't have those anymore. And then I was also in Hong Kong recently, so I just my old boss used to make my little plush toys.
Oh, cool.
Invited me up, so I figured I'll just whip out some toys. It was Spud the bear.
That's
and
awesome.
His best friend Max the cat.
That is
he's a toy.
100% your style. That is so cool.
Yeah.
The guys in Yangzhou, or the ladies in Yangzhou, did a very good job capturing my drawings into toys. And then I don't know if you, the people who subscribe, ring bells, and like the videos. If you go to older episodes, you'll see I have like a plush giraffe, and I always complained that my little plush giraffe got canned, so we changed him into a dog. So it's the same thing, except his antlers are gone and he's patterned. So that means he's cheaper to make now. So it's like when I was working, when you design plush toys, you have to make sure that they're as simple to manufacture as possible, because there's always a price point you try to hit. But anyway, so this is my little dog thing.
Nice.
Frankie. And I don't know, we're figuring out how to bring him back eventually. But in the meantime, you can just take a look at it. And then I've got no other comics or stuff. Ichigo, not Ichigo, sorry, Sloppy Bunny Tunes on Instagram. I've posted 3 things on there recently, so check it out. And Travis, your turn now. You do your Bellissimo.
Okay.
Did you do a lot of this?
All right.
When you were in Italy?
No, but people did it at me. Does that count?
No. Oh, no. Did you ever have a police officer just tell you to just sit down, have an espresso, and smoke a cigarette while your significant other or somebody else does something?
No,
okay.
no.
I'll save it for after the show. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Travis, you talk, so I shut up.
Yes, please.
I barely talked in this episode.
I know, that's Rob's fault.
Now.
Well, the floor's yours, mate.
Yeah, I barely talked. Oh, sorry. Rob, you were going to say something?
I just said the floor's yours.
Oh, cheers. Okay. Well, first of all, I need to introduce myself. I'm Travis Richardson. I'm from Adelaide. Now, I am working on a comic. Is it all right if I have the full screen up?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Yeah, give you guys a bit of a sneak peek of what I'm doing.
Yeah, mate.
So I'm working on a series at the moment with a journalist by the name of Emily Lewis, and it follows her exploits as she goes around to interview people and go to different places, and she doesn't expect the outcome of the interviews that she does. So yeah, it's basically a bit of Pulp Fiction, a bit of Twilight Zone mixed in there, and it also covers a lot of mad satire type stuff as well. So yeah, it's just something different. If you're interested in that, do watch this space, because I'll hopefully have the book out soon, and I'll have a website up and ready to go. So yeah,
nice.
Looking
Excellent.
nice.
Me.
Very good, Travis. Well done, mate.
Yeah, Sizzle has a website where they sell locally made comics. Just throwing it out there. Is this so? That is a place we can buy your comic, right? Anyways, I won't. So Brad or Travis,
Brad,
make me shut up.
Watch this space.
Cool.
Where can we find you, Mr. Alpha Sprites?
I'm sitting in front of my computer right now. If you can find me, then you can kill me. That's the way it works. My challenge is out. If you can kill me in the next 48 hours, you will inherit my riches. You may be a little disappointed.
It's a lot of hardcovers. A nice black lamp.
Actually, I was talking about the Frankenstein series, and Dave got out his trade paperback, and I remembered I actually had a bound copy of the series that I was talking about. So I guess I got.
Right.
There's the Bride of Frankenstein with the 4 arms, all holding guns.
Bring it up. All right. Wow. Oh, did you bind that yourself?
Wow.
No, I actually have a side business, Dave, where I bind comics into hardcovers.
I know that.
You can go to comicvolumes.com, comicvolumes.com, and get that done yourself. It's a really cool series. Check it out. Written by Jeff Lemire, art by good people.
Very good. Nice, Brad.
But you can find me at Edge Comics with an X on Instagram or Facebook, and you can go to edgecomics.com and buy the Alpha Sprites of Tara. This is the hardcover edition.
Very nice.
So I'm just showing off. I'm just flexing the the good additions today.
Oh, sorry.
All written and illustrated by me. It's jolly good. Yes, I also do a sci-fi comic called Infinite Odyssey. I do a spoof comic called Tales Too Stupid to Tell. You can order them all from the ComX shop, COMX.shop.
Nice.
And give me money. Give me money, please. I need to pay off these assassins that are coming for me.
You only got 48 hours.
Stupidly, I told them where to find me.
I told them exactly where I was. Why did I do it? Why? Why did I do it?
Every time.
Every fucking time. Every Friday night. I have to run for my life. You know, I wouldn't be dead for quids, though. Love it.
All right, Dave. Hard act to follow.
Yes. Anyway, I've got that's my name there, and I've got my books and comics. There's about a dozen of them now. At Owner Indie in the ComX shop, and at Heroes headquarters in Ballarat.
Sweet.
Go to any of those places, you will find my comics available.
Nice.
Okay. Sizzle sold a heap of them the other day at where was that?
Yeah.
Brisbane Comic Market. You were the flavour of the day at our store.
Thank you very much, mate.
Mate, you're the flavour of every day, Dave. You're the Daver of the day.
Thank you very much for selling those for me, mate. Appreciate it very much.
Pleasure.
Over to you, Tom.
Alrighty, well, you can find me tomorrow in Carlton, because tomorrow is the first Saturday of the month, which is the Saturday that the Melbourne Comic Creators Monthly Meeting is on. That's run by myself and Brendan Halliday. It's at the Clyde Hotel on Cardigan Street in Carlton, and it is open to anyone who makes comics or wants to make comics who happens to be in Melbourne tomorrow. So that's from 2 p.m. at the Clyde Hotel. So I've met a lot of good people through there, Josh included. And if you want to come down and meet some comic peeps, you want to talk pop culture, you want to talk craft, if you've got questions about making and printing your comics, this is a pretty good place to start.
Absolutely.
I'd love to go if I was a bit closer, mate.
We'd love to see you there.
Yeah, I'd definitely, if I was in town, I'd go for sure.
Just jump on Dinky.
Someday.
Dinky.
Exactly. Dinky needs to earn his hay.
That's my horse.
Or carrots. Dinky
might
and carrots
take
or
me 2
hay?
weeks.
All right,
So,
Josh,
Dave,
where can we
what's his favourite snack?
Go,
We're going
Josh.
to talk about horses first.
No, we don't.
Yes,
Okay.
I didn't know it was a sensitive subject.
It is
I think he has asked if we stop talking about him.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's getting a
Come
bit
along.
embarrassed. All the fan mail he's been getting.
I guess he eats it.
Sorry, Dave.
I'm jealous because he's getting more than me.
Yeah.
That's the read between the lines. See. All right, come on, Josh.
I was excited to hear that the Clyde Hotel is now where the comic makers meetup is these days. I used to get trashed there 20 years ago, but you can find my books on my website, which is joshuasantospirito.com. Don't blame me if you can't spell my surname. I'm sure Google will figure it out for you if you just mangle it. But also I'm on Instagram and Twitter under that handle at the bottom, Josh Santospirito. Where have I got my books? I think around the shops in Hobart, Area 52 and Fuller's, and in Melbourne at Readings Bookstore. I don't think I'm at. I have to restock a few places. And in Alice Springs at Red Kangaroo Books. I think that might be it at the moment. Maybe Greenlight Comics might still have some copies of my stuff in Adelaide, I think, off the top of my head. I think I've been a bit lax in getting back to Impact Comics in Canberra, so yeah.
Awesome. And then we'd like to just leave you on the screen awkwardly for just a handful of seconds.
Well done.
That's part of the deal.
That's great.
Now, Sis, correct me if I'm wrong. We are taking a little. Hello, everybody. Spedsy corner of the show. Sis, I believe we are taking a break for April. Is that the talk on the catwalk? You muted, my friend.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. So we will be back, the first Friday in May?
Yes.
And I don't know what the theme is. I don't know if people need a month to draw, but maybe we should do pro wrestling as our first theme. Back.
What's that bloody?
Why do I say pro wrestling, Dave? Because tomorrow night is the Hall of Fame. Sunday is WrestleMania Night 1. Monday, WrestleMania Night 2. Get ready.
Rousey on the
sign up to your Foxtels or your Binges or whoever. I've got to find who does it. But anyway, WrestleMania is this weekend. So if you need me, I will be full of chicken, KFC chicken, and I will be looking like my man Herb from Sluggish, covered in crumbs, being all slug-like on the couch, watching something like 14 hours worth of wrestling.
Oh, that's what you're doing. I thought you said
that's what I'm doing, mate.
Oh.
Kids are being told Daddy does not exist on Sunday and Monday. You can find him in a bucket of chicken. Yeah. So that's been our show. Don't miss us too much in the hiatus. It's just a little bit of a recharge the batteries and come back with renewed vigor and whatnot. So big thank you to Sis for hosting this show in the literal sense. He is the man that funds this machine, the man who oils the cogs and cogs the oils and something or other. Big thank you to Kez, who is the woman behind the man, something. She oils Sizzle and Sizzle oils ain't oils, something or other.
Is this like that sounds like something I would say when I don't think before I speak, Rob?
I do, yeah. I start sentences going, I'll work this out by the end. This will be funny, and it often isn't.
That doesn't work. I can tell you from experience, it doesn't work.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just wanted to thank all the creators who have been on the show for the last couple of months, all the creators who are at home and sending in their stuff, all the viewers, just everybody. This show is about positivity and supporting artists and all that sort of stuff. So you guys supporting us makes our hearts happy. Please help support everybody by heading to ComX.shop. Lots of us, lots of other people who have been on the show have books there for sale. Otherwise, you can check out everybody's individual places, reverypublications.com.au, all those sort of good stuff. All right, that's it. Thank you, Josh, for being our guest tonight. Thanks, Dave, Nick May, Alex Major, or our regulars, Shaden. It's been. I guess we'll be back. Will we call it season 3, Sis? Or is this season
why not?
4?
Or is this season 3? I forget.
Yeah, I don't know.
But this is season 3. I think it's like you have like a little break sometimes. Sometimes The Simpsons isn't on for like 3 or 4 weeks, but it's still the same season. So just don't worry about it. It just the outsourced studio is being slow and late on delivery. That's why we can't bring a show next month.
Well, also, right now in pro wrestling, they call it the road to WrestleMania. So perhaps when we come back, it'll be the road to 100 because we will be.
Yes. Are we going to give it a more catchy name? Like
Road to 100. That's a pretty good name. No,
that's pretty good. I reckon.
The road to 100.
I don't know. Is that like a road to drinking 100 something? I don't know.
100
bottles
of beer on the wall. 100 bottles of beer on the wall.
There you go.
You tell we're all writers and creators. Look at how well we put together these snazzy titles. All right. Yeah. So until then, say your vitamins, eat your prayers, and we'll catch you when we catch you. Thank you so much.
Night all. Thank you very much. See you in a month.
Bye.
Someone should call the police. The show has been murdered. But in 1 week we will rebuild it. Better, stronger, faster. In the meantime, head to ComX.shop and powder your chestnuts on a copy of Detective Budgie by Nick Cleary, Amazing Tales by Dave Dye, Vamoose by Nick May, Battle for Bustle by Lee Chalker, Radical by Ed Kearsley, Sluggish by Spedsy, Crimson and Rascal by Peter Wilson, ComX Presents featuring so many of the creators that have appeared on this show. And so much more. Alright Sizz, press the button. End the show. Don't make me butter your biscuit. Sizzle, press the button. Sizzle? Sausage sizzle. Hashtag Bunnings. Speaking of snags, did you see Dave die tonight?